Florida's bonkers Surgeon General, a man by the name of Dr. Joseph Ladapo, who was handpicked, by the way, by Ron DeSantis to be his Surgeon General during the COVID-19 pandemic, during the start of it, because Ladapo was a staunch anti-COVID vaccine guy. And Ron DeSantis, trying to bolster his conservative credentials, both for his reelection and for his then forthcoming presidential election, said, hey, this guy who's telling people not to get vaccinated, not to wear masks, and not to protect themselves, sounds exactly like what Florida has done since the beginning of the pandemic. Well, this idiot, Dr. Ladapo, appeared on Steve Bannon's podcast last week, where he actually said that the vaccines are the Antichrist. I'm not making that up. I'm not even exaggerating. Here's how this exchange went down. Steve Bannon preps him with a very leading question, saying that obviously there's all kinds of evidence that these vaccines are dangerous, and you're a man of science, Bannon says. So what science do you have to tell us that these vaccines are dangerous? Dr. Ladapo responds by not actually answering the question and instead saying this. The evidence is a combination of their guidance documents in the past that acknowledge the risk of DNA integration and the need to test for it to make sure you're not fouling up the human genome. Their evidence is their acknowledgement that there is DNA in there. It's an RNA vaccine, by the way. It's RNA. So this asshole, this absolute dumbass, is already misdirecting people by saying things incorrectly. And he's a doctor, the Surgeon General of Florida. God bless. And that's been found to be billions of particles, small particles of DNA, which with each dose in at least one study, And they've acknowledged, because we asked them specifically whether they have tested for this, and they gave a non-answer. They talked about a bunch of other things, and they never answered the question, which I infer to mean that they haven't tested for it. So it's literally all their evidence. Okay. You're just saying like they have all the evidence, and then you didn't provide any of it. You say they have it and they've released it, but they also didn't do it. So you're contradicting yourself in your statement. He continues. And I'm not saying, frankly, I think it probably does have some integration at some levels with the human genome, because these vaccines are honestly, they're the Antichrist of all products. So I think it probably does, but I'm not saying it does. I'm saying that they say themselves have said you should test for it, and that hasn't happened, and they've provided no proof that it's happened, and that's what's so wrong. You know, it's just complete disrespect to the human genome and the importance of protecting it and preserving it, and that is our connection to God. You're a doctor. I don't care what you say our connection to God is. That doesn't matter. That's not science. That's your personal faith if you actually have that. That has no bearing on science whatsoever. You're a doctor. You're in charge of health decisions for millions of people. You provide them their guidance that they blindly follow here in the state of Florida, which is why we had the highest per capita death rate from COVID, because of people like this idiot Surgeon General. The vaccine is the Antichrist, he tells us. Billions with a B of people around the planet have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. More than 70% of the United States population has been fully vaccinated for COVID-19. It is not causing widespread deaths. It is absolutely not causing all of these health problems that conservatives and other morons say that it's causing. It's simply not. We would be seeing tens of millions of people drop dead, and I'm sorry, but that just hasn't happened. Globally, we'd be seeing hundreds of millions drop dead, and that also has not happened, Republicans. These people are lying to you, and I just read you his statement word for word. That doesn't sound like something an intelligent human being would say. And that is the man that is in charge of the healthcare guidance for tens of millions of Florida residents. And that's exactly why Ron DeSantis picked him. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.